Hey guys, this video is going to go over how we job cost within the Bitumio Mobile App. So this is going to go through how we enter values on specific dates, probably in the past for past jobs, how we can update data from those past jobs, and so forth. So when I log in, this is what I'm going to see. I can scroll through all of the jobs in the day, in the month. This is my demo account. I can click on a certain day like the 12th. Here's the job on that day. And then I can click into that job. And so now you have this information. We can see in this that start date was on 6/10 and end date is on 6/12. So this should have multiple days of job costing in it, and we'll see how that looks. So I'm going to go down here to the bottom and input job info. In this, you're going to see all the notes and all of the images for that job. But the other thing that you're going to see is this summary table here. So what this is showing is the person that job costed on the date for which job costs are associated. So this doesn't mean that I job costed on the 7th necessarily. This means that there are costs associated to the 7th. So this I could have entered on the 10th or the 12th or the 20th, right? But the costs were back on the 7th. So if I expand these, there's no information in here. We pre-populate the equipment from the proposal for you, but they're all zeros. But since this says June 7th, up here in the top corner, if I go up to this and go back to June 7th, now we can see the job costs that were entered on June 7th. So 500 tons of asphalt, 10 hours for Jimbo Fisher, 10 hours for LeBron James, and 8 hours of travel time. We can see we didn't input any equipment costs. They're all zeros. We didn't have any additional costs, and we ran our strong arm for 30 hours this day. So if I were to update any of these job costs, if I were to do this, do 20, that's going to overwrite the prior setting. So now my strong arm costs are going to go from 30 hours to 20 hours when I save this. And now we just decrease. Or we can go the other way and we can increase. We can add equipment. We can add additional costs, etc. Add employees that maybe you've left off. So again, here on 7/1, nothing changed down here because I just edited that same date. But if I go back to June 7th now my trucking is at 20 hours. I still have 500 hours, my 2 employees, none of that changed. But now let's say I'm going to add costs to the 10th. So now I just switch this to June 10th. So my material is empty. My transfer trucks are empty just because I'm on a different day now. So I can say on this day we used 250 tons and I still had Jimbo Fisher, LeBron James, and this time I had Nick Saban. And they were on the job for 10 hours each. If you wanted to add travel time, you could add travel time. Let's say it's 2 hours round trip. We can add our equipment cost this time. So I ran my roller for 8 hours, my dump truck for 8 hours, and 6. But I'm missing my paver. So I'm going to go to add equipment, click into here, and now I can do a couple things. So I can do a paver and a tax trailer. Even though that should be a tack trailer, we're going to do a tax trailer. And I ran my paver for 10 hours and my tack trailer for 2. And my trucking, I still ran my strong arms and I ran my trucking for 20 hours. So now we have all of these costs. All of these fields are populated with zeros. If you wanted to leave them at that, you can add multiple quantities. So now I'm going to go ahead and save this day, the 10th of June. So it takes us back. If I want to go back into here. So now I have costs associated to June 7th and I have costs associated to June 10th. So 2 different days, both of which have different costs associated to them, but I can still go back and I can edit the costs on any of those days. We're going to save those values in there for you. You can edit them. This is also editable from within the web portion. All of these numbers will flow through. You can edit, make changes, overwrite, anything like there. There's one gotcha that I'm going to explain that some people tend to fall into. So I'm going to go to the 11th now. And just for the sake of this example, I'm going to enter 500 quantity, but this is going to happen to any of these. So my employees, if I add employees in here, same thing is going to happen. Let's say 10 hours and 10 hours. But now if I do this and I come up here and I click on this move to in progress button, if I click that, I'm going to lose my job costs that I had. Notice how these are all gone. Quantity is gone, employees are gone, okay? So I want to add these. I'm still on the 11th though. I want to add these and make sure I hit save day before I come up here and change the status, move it to job costing or move it to complete, okay? So if I'm actively entering values here and change the status, it's going to erase the values that you entered. You have to click save day down here at the bottom in order to save those job costing numbers that you're putting into here. So that's a caveat that tends to hang a few people up when they're entering job costs for the first time. But hopefully that gives a good understanding of how you can job cost within the app and how you can go back in time and enter job costs or overwrite or change or edit job costs from previous days. Thanks and hope that's helpful. Reach out if you have any questions.